Please welcome to the stage the President of the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, Ivo Daalder.
Good evening. I'm Ivo Daalder, the President of the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2019 Pritzker Forum on Global Cities, which we host in partnership with the Financial Times. This is our 5th year of hosting this important conference. It's an exciting milestone for us to look back on where we've been, where we're headed, and why we're doing what we're doing. This year's theme is Big Plans, Bold Solutions. It's a nod to Daniel Burnham, the famous architect and urban designer who said, "Make no little plans, for they have no magic to stir men's blood, and probably themselves will not be realized. Make big plans." Among Burnham's most important and biggest plan was the Plan of Chicago, which he drafted in 1909, including ambitious proposals to help turn Chicago into the remarkable, beautiful, and gorgeous city it is today. And here we are 110 years later, envisioning our big plans for the cities of the future and our bold solutions for the immense global challenges that our world is facing. The Pritzker Forum on Global Cities has sought to be at the forefront of a new dialogue about cities as actors on the global stage. For urbanists among you here, the importance of cities is obvious. But for many other sectors in our society, the academy, the private sector, the foreign policy community, national and international institutions, the role of cities is not immediately apparent. And to what the extent it is, there is a debate about what that role should be. How much autonomy or influence should cities have? Can actions taken locally be scaled nationally or even globally? What will be the future world order, and how will it be defined by the role of cities? Over the next 3 days, we will discuss issues that have driven headlines in the past year and hone in on solutions for moving forward. We're going to look at the crisis of affordable housing, new mobility technologies, and how the concrete jungles some of our cities have become can be more livable and sustainable. We're going to look at the role of cities in migration and in delivering the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. We're going to examine the violence in cities and figure out how we're going to end that scourge that plagues all too many of us. We're going to look at the increasing political and economic divides within countries, both within cities and between cities and the regions that have been left behind by globalization. But we're also going to celebrate great new innovations and opportunities that are coming from cities, and particularly the aspiration of a new set of leaders who have been elected into offices of major cities around the world, including right here in Chicago. Our goal is twofold in the next few days: to discuss and highlight the key role cities play as actors on the global stage, not just as places where things are happening, and to serve as a platform for connecting all of you in fostering an exchange of ideas and develop workable solutions to common problems. So please meet new people, ask questions, challenge our assumptions, attend our private workshops tomorrow afternoon, and go deeper with your fellow experts on issues of culture, data, migration, mobility, nature, urban violence, regional divides, and the SDGs. Engage on social media using the hashtag GlobalCities2019. Fill out your comment cards to help us make sure that we do as well as we can this year and do even better next year. And most importantly, enjoy the next 3 days. But before we get started, there are a few people and institutions that I want to acknowledge. Without their support, none of us would be here, and none of what we're doing would be possible. The Financial Times has has been our key partner from the beginning, and today has again published its special report on cities. And I hope you will read the report and continue to read this excellent newspaper. The Pritzker Family Foundation, whose extraordinary generosity in support of the forum we so gratefully acknowledge by naming our annual gathering the Pritzker Forum on Global Cities. The Robert R. McCormick Foundation, which so generously supports our year-round work on cities. Our lead sponsors, AbbVie and UL, who have been with us from the beginning. Our supporting sponsors, Grant Thornton, Kirkland and Ellis, and United Airlines, and our patron sponsors, Brinks, Hyatt Hotels Foundations, and Uber. All of you, thank you for what you continue to do. And I want to thank the mayors and the speakers who have come from afar and some from not so far to be part of the conversation and to contribute their expertise and insights. I want to thank our board leadership in elevating the role of global cities at the Chicago Council on Global Affairs, and in particular our Global Cities Advisory Committee, which has stimulated so much of what we try to do in these 3 days. And I want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come across, if you came from the city, to come across to Fulton Market and be with us here today and for the next few days. Thank you all.